I would love to tell my younger self, you know, don't worry about what people think. And I'd love to tell my younger self, you know, if you love it, just do it. You know, you're putting in the work, all those things. I was already doing that, but it's so much easier said than done, and I've learned a lot, and that's what I sing about. That's all I sing about, and I realised that I'm not a journaler. I don't journal. I don't like journaling. And then what I've realised is music and songwriting is my way of journaling. I don't regret not doing it earlier, but I wish I do believe I would have been doing this way earlier than now, but it's okay. Yeah. Some people it just comes really naturally. It would have been great if I could have had that when I was younger, but it is so much easier said than done to go back and tell yourself, just do this. It's so easy, like all you have to do is this. But I'm grateful it came now, because I do know that there will be other people in this lifetime, in this world, that will get to that point in their own time. And then it's slowly like putting things around you to make it happen. I remember sitting down when this kind of happened. I sat down with myself, and I think it was when I turned 30. If I'm going to do this, I have to do it now. And that's when I wrote down my list of things, my manifesting stuff. And I can positively tell you that majority of that initial little list is being ticked off or has been ticked off. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The beginning of our trip to the States, it started in New York. You know, we got off the plane and we're feeling so excited. We're all there for this reason, but everyone has their own agendas and their own dreams and aspirations and ideas of how things are going to go. That's just the human thing, right? And so we booked an apartment that we thought we were splurging on. We thought we were like really booking something quite fancy and nice in Manhattan, and it was a shoebox. Having 4 adult people in a tiny little hotel room, 1 bathroom, and the beds were basically touching. That already, for like a week, that was already intense. Take away the fact that we were there for work, like that we were all there to do a job. Also, I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD, and neither was Sinead. So that, you know, again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. For me personally, I was trying to really register and figure out what I wanted and needed in the moment, because that was something I'd been working on before we left, because I never really practiced, like ask myself, okay, well, what do you need in this moment? It sounds so simple, but I never really did that. And so I was really trying to practice it. It just gets a little bit harder when you've got 3 other people there and you're still, you know, you're still your old self, trying to not worry about what everyone else is doing, what everyone's thinking, just go and do the thing. It always comes back to perspective and frame of mind, I think. I found it really hard because I wasn't in my normal place. I didn't have my things everywhere. I didn't have my routine. So it was a big learning curve for me of like, all right, cool. You're experiencing this and this is how you're feeling. What can you control? What can't you control? What do you have to let go of? And I think that I learned a lot of like, okay, I really need this. This actually is really important to me. For example, before a gig, I just want to be on my own. I want to be on my own. I want to just pretty much be silent, just slowly getting ready, doing my makeup real slow, like figuring out what I just really melt. I want that. I really need that downtime. I released a song called Polite, and I don't know how, but I did really well. And from that, I got a message from this guy, Ross Newhouse, and he just said, hey, we loved your song. If you ever want to do some songwriting, we'd love to work with you. I think you're great. And I told Sinead about it, and we agreed to jump on Zoom and just chat. And I really, really loved his energy. Really encouraging, really supportive, very transparent, very, just doing it for the right reasons. And I was sitting at my desk on Zoom and Michael was in the shower. And I quickly used the opportunity to say, I want to write more happy songs. So I decided I want to write a love song about Michael, but I don't want it to be too cheesy. Talking about a love that I am learning, like a different type of love, what it feels like and what it looks like from what I thought it should be. That's what I wanted to write about, and he held it. He held it so beautifully and carefully, and he's so good with metaphors. He's a beautiful writer in that way. I had it produced here in Perth, and then I said to him, I think I might be coming over to America. I think I'm coming over. Should I come? He's like, you've got to come to New York. That was that. I was like, that's a no-brainer. And we organised to catch up, and it was so lovely. It was nice to be able to show him the final version that we had written months before, and I was sitting in New York with him in his studio playing the song.
Hell yeah! Dude, that rocks! That's so good.
Thank you.
I love the production.
You helped me with that.
It was interesting because I hadn't really done it to this level or like this intentional. It was always like in Perth, it might be a friend, and we should do like a song sometime, and you're just kind of going in and just seeing how it goes. It's never really quite official. It's more like, let's have a jam or something like that. Whereas this was like, let's book a date in and there was a lot more at stake, I guess. My first session in LA was with Mischa and Lauren, and we'd just flown in, I think. Like we flew in and it was like the next day. We started late as well. So it was like a 4 p.m. start. We went until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You kind of messaging and emailing and stuff. We were meeting for the first time. I was nervous as hell. Like I won't even, I kind of realize again when you're in these situations, I was constantly like, okay, what do I need? What do I want in this moment? How am I feeling? What do I feel like I don't need? What do I feel, So who was in the room? Myself, Sinead, Lauren, and Mischa. Kori was obviously there to document it and to get it all on camera. Lots of energies in the room, I guess, and dynamics, but Mischa and Lauren, they know how to get something out of your vocal take, how you're saying a word in a phrase. Okay, when you're saying this word, try and think of this visual. Those sorts of things are so great to have when you're in the moment because you're obviously thinking about a million and one things at the time. Sinead and I have talked about this. It's really quite, it's funny now, it was hard at the time. I was trying to do a vocal take and I was getting frustrated because I wasn't hitting the range that I wanted, and it was like midnight at this point. So my voice was tired and I was nervous, and every time I did a take, I'd say something like, that was shit, do it again, like quick, like, oh, no, that was crap, go me again, right? And then, bless her, she was doing exactly what I asked. Like I wanted her to do this. I know my self-talk isn't good, but she was behind me and she'd go, don't say that. And she doesn't know this because she's not in my brain, but I would know vocally, I know I could just do that take better. So I'd be like, no, I know that was shit, go again, because I'm gonna do it better. In the moment, I didn't want to upset her because I know that she was trying to help me and that was what I asked her to do. But then I was realizing, oh, actually, okay, maybe you don't need that next time. So my next session was with Florian. He's French and he's living in LA, and he's a drummer, producer, and he also hit me up out of the blue just saying, hey, I really like your style. And again, totally different vibe because we're just like messaging over Instagram, and then we just FaceTime on Instagram, just building a relationship before I got there. And he's just like walking from the train with his little earpods in, and he was always on like 2%. Like, so it was just like this very different feel, and just very bubbly and very chatty and very excitable, very like young at heart, which I love as well. So I always said feed off that. But he's more of a producer. And I also had a little bit more confidence to say, no, I don't like that. Can we try that? No, not that. It was, I think, saying no. Just like, no, I don't like this, or no, can we try this? Whatever. And that was really fun. It was a very like fun experience for me. I had another session booked. I just got that contact through an artist here in Perth who also has been over to LA, and she'd worked with these guys and said they were awesome. So I reached out on Instagram and said, hey, I'm gonna be in LA this time if you want to tee up a session. And again, that was a whole different thing again. That was just like a bunch of boys in the share house, you know, with their studio made up in their lounge room. That was just really cool as well because I feel the vibe changed again. It was a bunch of boys that all had their own projects and they were all living together and they were about to go on tour. Just real creative, quirky, really talented, like stupidly talented musicians. And again, I didn't know what to expect. We just went in with a song idea and some references, and the four of us just kind of threw in all these ideas as a melting pot. And I really like working with energetic, excitable, in the moment, like, oh, let's just do this, and oh, it's feeling really cool, and whatever it is, we'll just keep going with it. And I love that. It was a shame because we were on a time limit because we had to get to a showcase night. It was cut short. But in that time, we still wrote a song and laid down a whole heap of stuff. So that was really cool. But yeah, speed dating. It's like speed dating. You're going in, you've never met each other. You're just trying to get to know one another real quick, and then you're like having to be quite vulnerable quite quickly. I think I'm naturally that way inclined, and I like that part. I like that part about myself. I can do that well naturally, but you're there for a reason and there's things riding off it. It's obviously more pressure, so it's just trying to like take that off and just enjoy it, the process as well. But you're there to do a job and you're there to write a song, and to get it done you have to be assertive and know what you're doing, and you have to be vulnerable and personable, and yeah, all of these things really quickly. And then you got to go to the next one and do it all over again. Yeah, fun but exhausting. Yeah.
I really like that. After you leave, I let you be wrong and see. And after you leave, I know you got promise me.
Yes, sit down. Yeah.
Meeting Steve for the first time, initially I thought it was really lovely, incredibly passionate. Like if Stephen's doing something, he's doing it 110%. Physically, he reacts to things. I loved that energy, straight up. You just watch him like lock in and he's like, oh, wait, oh yeah, and I got this idea. And he quickly like runs over to the synth and he's locking it in. You just can't help but feed off that energy. Lyrically and melodically, he hears so many great things in his brain. He's a wizard. And so that was really inspiring to see. So the first time though, I was nervous and I still hadn't really got the vocal idea that I had in my head like fully together yet, but I had an idea. And so he was like, all right, he swings around his chair. He's like, all right, what have you got? What have you got for me? I've laid all this stuff down. And I said, oh, I've got this vocal idea. And I was singing it, not overly loud. And he told me to, he just said straight up, sing louder. What are you doing? I can't hear you. And as the back hairs go in my head, I'm thinking, excuse me, it's just an idea. And who are you to tell me what to do and tell me to sing louder? I barely know you, we've just met today. Again, I love him because he doesn't hold on to that stuff. As we moved through that, I had a lot more appreciation because then he just got really excited and then he gave me, you know, positive feedback on a vocal take that I did later that afternoon when we were laying the vocals down when we had a song. After all of that, I came out feeling like I learnt way more. I felt way more confident. I felt comfortable and safe with him. I felt like I could be silly as well. It's like that inner child stuff was able to come out. He was really good at positive reinforcement and I needed that. So we booked another session and I was way more like comfortable. We wrote another song. It's like full-blown 80s synth pop, like big, upbeat, happy stuff, which I loved it, but it wasn't me. But I I really loved who I was when I was in the sessions. He opened up the space for me to actually say how I felt. And sometimes people need permission. He said to me, "You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm not gonna take this personally. I just wanna make sure you're happy." And I think because I'm always so, I wanna make sure everyone else is happy. I wanna make sure he feels like he's being respected as a producer. He was doing that for me. And I think that was huge, huge for me to then really trust. We finally got the bounce back and we listened to it and we couldn't get enough of it. And we were in the Chevy Impala, the 1967 Chevy Impala across the bloody desert on our way to Vegas. Oh my gosh, we just played it over and over and over and over again. That was that ultimate feeling of like freedom and that high. It was like ecstasy. It was like your hair is literally flapping in the wind with your friends in a Chevy Impala, listening to this like happy bopping banger that you wrote and produced with a guy a week ago. The whole visual of that was just wild. Yeah, that was really cool. Fast forward to less than 6 months, I went back. Mentally different, the difference between the first trip and the second trip is like day and night. Going to the second time, I was diagnosed in January, went on my solo trip back to LA in April, and I had started my medication for those first 4 months. And it was huge, the change in my confidence and just decision making. Just doing the thing and just being like, yeah, that's what I want. It was that, just that alone was crazy, because I had to work so hard in every moment prior to that, because it just doesn't come naturally to me. It's crazy because I was living my life like that for so long, which stopped me from being able to do so many things. In saying that, I know that the medication hasn't fixed everything. I still deal with all of those things. It's just a little bit less intense and consuming. I was nervous about going back. I was actually almost going to cancel. But then I had the conversation with Stephen beforehand. He was like, you know what? I want you to just come over and I want you to just start from scratch. And again, multiple conversations happened prior to that. With Sinead, there's so many people that are involved in this. It's not just me. Again, I'm so grateful for Sinead because she also got diagnosed with ADHD. So we're both learning this together. Just saying that, she's my best friend, she's my manager. We both have ADHD and we both have very different types of ADHD. But I'm like so grateful that I have someone who can see me in all of these different lights. And I can also like see hers too. Yeah, that's very rare. I think that's really, really cool. So going back to LA, medicated, was a dream. It was the best. I felt like I was actually in control of my life. I spent a lot of time preparing before I went. So day one of being in the studio with Stephen, we had 9 sessions booked. And day one, he was like, what are we doing? And I was like, this is it. We went to do this small body of work. Instead, we were just on such a roll and I'd set such a good intention from day one that we agreed we would just write as many songs as we could and then we'd figure it out. We just, I don't know, put it out there, and then the joke was, it's gonna be an album. All the songs that I wrote in that time, for me, was a time capsule. Yeah, these songs are all so different. I think the lyrics are probably the most important part as well. And all of them are pretty vulnerable and pretty real. And some of them are actually just fun dance bangers, So I wanted it to be a journal entry. I'm just stepping into the person that I really want to be, showcasing it with all of me.